Laugh Factory Network.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Who am I? You sure you want to know?
What does that make us? Sidekicks?
It's the Trusty Sidekick podcast with your hosts, Jay Washington, Bob Hill.
What's happening, everybody? We are back, and it's another episode of the Trusty Sidekick podcast here on the Laugh Factory Podcast Network with me, your resident supervillain, Mr. Jay Washington.
And me, your resident superhero, Bobby Hill.
Hey, man. Happy New Year to everybody.
Merry New Year.
Merry New Year's to you all. Hope you all have brought in the New Year safely. If you were drunk, hopefully you made it home okay, because you should be able to listen to this without you, in a sling. And
Being alive.
Being alive.
I prefer you to be alive.
I prefer you to be alive more than anything else. Hope you all had a great holiday season as a whole. So we are here. This is going to be,
We are alive.
We are alive. We made it through, man. So happy holidays. How was your holiday season, Bobby?
It was good. I'm excited to get back into this new year and make some things really pop for 2018. I've got a lot of things on the boiler that I want to try and get bubbling. And I'm just jacked. I'm jacked that there's a new start and a new list of agendas and things to be accomplished this year. What about you?
Hey, man, I feel the same way. Got to do something amazing for Christmas, so that really warmed my heart up. But it put more things in perspective for me for what I need to do going into 2018 and
murder everybody.
And not legit murder, ladies and gentlemen, because I know you're like, he gonna start killing people?
Yeah, don't call nobody.
They gonna start killing people? Everybody get murdered for real. It's just to start murdering the game more. Just, I've been blessed to do a lot the past year. And
you like to repay that by murdering the game.
Murdering the game. I want to be able to do so much more.
You're in L.A. The game might hear you and decide he wants to have a conversation.
Yeah, the wrong game. Like, what's up, Shane? You will murder me? Like, hey, man, nobody talking about you, man. Go take that butterfly tattoo you got covered up over your face. Fuck out my face. But nah, man, I want to just do a lot more and advance a lot more within my personal career with the podcast and so much, and definitely as a father and a man in 2018. So that is really it. What this episode
I feel pretty good about being a father and a man right now. I feel pretty strong about the level I'm at as both a father and a man.
As both.
I feel pretty good on both of them right now.
This is Jesus Christ. This is our prediction.
All the work I'm going to do on
this is our prediction episode for 2018, man. As you know, we talked about all the shows in our best and worst. If you have not listened, please go check out our best and worst comic book movies of 2017, as well as our best and worst TV shows. Where Bobby and I ranked all of the TV shows that came out this year.
We ranted and also raved.
We ranted and raved for 14 television shows.
Yeah. It's a good episode, though. It's a fun episode. It's 14 episodes, but it seems like it's only 6.
And we want you all to... And we want you all to go listen to those if you haven't listened already. Make sure you compare our list to yours. See where you're at. And let us know where you're at. Let us know what you thought it should have been higher, lower, whatever the case may be.
Where's your head at? Where's your head at?
What's in your wallet? And I'll tell you how to do that at the end of the show, man. But this one, we're talking about what's coming up 2018. Now, everybody pretty much knows movie-wise what's happening. It's been plastered all over back and forth that 2018 is going to be another major blockbuster year in film.
Yeah, they set these dates for things coming out way ahead of time, so we know everything that should happen this year.
Right, we're pretty much sure.
Shouldn't have any surprises.
If something pops up out of nowhere, like they was like, yo, we've been working on this.
The great thing about all these shows and movies is that they all require some level of special effects.
I mean, if a movie just pops up out of nowhere like that.
And so, it takes time to build that shit.
Yes, it does.
Start doing it.
So let's talk, what we're going to talk about first, we'll get into the movies, but what we want to get into is some things you might not know about. Now, we've talked about it a lot here. If you're a regular fan and listener of the Trusty Sidekick, we talk about all this shit. So even, rumors and, it's a set date for this and this show is coming out and we don't know why this show is happening or that movie is happening. We've got stuff. So here's what's happening in 2018 on the TV side, okay? First and foremost, coming up this month in January, you are getting the debut of Black Lightning on the CW.
Yeah, the first black superhero series on the CW.
On the CW.
We're going to get Black Lightning. I'm super excited about this show. It looks like it's going to be a goodie.
Hey, I'm dope for... Let me tell you something. Shout out to Cress Williams. And I'm going to say this because... Cress Williams has been in my life as that dude since the 90s. You know what I'm saying? You know where Cress Williams is from? That nigga was trying to get Khadijah and Scooter and living single. Cress Williams has been the dude. You know what I'm saying?
He goes back.
He goes back. So to see him in this and have this role, to go from, you know what I'm saying, the record exec type dude to just having small little roles here and there, to being able to champion a black superhero TV show now on a network that is booming in the CW.
Yeah.
I'm all excited for it. We're going to get his daughters are going to become Thunder and Lightning.
It's a great character, too, because he's playing is he the teacher or the principal
He's
at the school? He's the principal of the school.
Jefferson Pierce, he's the principal.
He's a principal at a school, and so obviously there's going to be some times where you see that character, and you see him as the principal, obviously doling out advice and help and aid, and then being a superhero in his spare time.
And it's all about it's basically the hood.
Now, how someone on even a principal salary can afford gear to build a superhero suit?
Putting a lot
I don't
overtime.
know.
I mean,
on a public school principal salary?
Yeah, you're right.
Come on, dog.
You're right.
You driving a you know you got an old Tercel. You driving an old Toyota Tercel.
You around this bitch in an old Ford Taurus.
Because you gotta be able to pay for them lightning bolt outfits.
You around this bitch in the car that RoboCop drove and RoboCop won.
But I am excited to see it. It will be coming on Tuesday nights.
Yes.
It'll follow the Flash, which means it's got a good lead in. So you get Flash and Lightning in the same night.
Yeah, I'm with it.
You know the marketing is coming for that.
Oh,
they haven't hit it yet, but the marketing.
Oh, the marketing
come.
is going to be heavy for that. Another show that's set to pop up now. It's going to be interesting how they do this one. Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, I am. I'm all the way here for Cloak and Dagger. As you know, anything where you're dealing with Team Beige, I am super ready to be watching that.
Bobby's Team Beige to his heart, to his soul.
I'm all about that idea. So I'm excited for the Cloak and Dagger show. It's going to be on Freeform, so you're going to have to go and find it. Which will be
Freeform, which is formerly ABC Family.
Used to be ABC Family, so you got to find that. I like Olivia Holt. I like Aubrey Joseph. I think that's a good choice for those characters. Mm-hmm. They are doing a younger version. This is kind of a YA version of Cloak and Dagger.
Which, again, is an interesting thing because if you know of Cloak and Dagger, they are older and, you know, they're just older. They're grown. They're adults. They took these into the teen direction. So,
yeah, I was concerned about it, and then I started watching Runaways from Marvel, and I was like, okay, well, at least a teen YA series I'm into.
But wait, but the thing is, with Runaways is a teen story.
Yeah. They're taking this and reverting it to a teen story, but at least I'm watching a teen story happen where I'm like, I'm still entertained by this teen level story. So I feel like maybe I'll sit down and watch Cloak and Dagger and also be entertained by a teen level story.
Gotcha. So I'm looking forward to that. Now let's switch over real quick to DC. There's a couple of DC shows that are premiering this year. The first one is premiering not on regular television, but on DC's new streaming app, and that is Titans.
Yeah, Titans is coming on the DC streaming app. We've already seen a picture of Brendan Thwaites as Robin,
which has been a lot of speculation as to which Robin he actually is because of the costume.
Yeah, that's the big question that we've got to figure out. Is he going to be Jason Todd?
Is he Tim Drake?
Is he
Damian Wayne?
Is he Damian Wayne? I hope he's not Damian.
Well, because I'm just saying, there's different Robins.
Yeah.
It's never been official that this is even Dick Grayson. Because remember, there's a Nightwing movie coming out.
And so I don't believe it's Dick Grayson almost because we have the Nightwing movie. So I would assume they're not trying to step on each other's toes with that.
So you think it's probably Tim Drake?
So I think it's probably Tim Drake when it all comes down to it, which for me is probably the most boring of the Robins.
Hey, I'd rather see Tim Drake over Jason Todd for one reason alone. You are not going to give me what I need to have with Jason Todd. Getting all I need.
I'm not going to get that ending you want.
I'm not going to get that ending you so richly deserve. I'm not going to get that ending I deserve. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, Jason Todd gets the dog shit beat out of him with a crowbar by the Joker.
Yeah.
So if we don't get that, then there is no point in giving it.
Now, for the record, they do have Brendan Thwaites listed in IMDb as Dick Grayson / Robin. So. At least now, IMDb has been wrong before,
and they've been always
they will be wrong again.
Yeah,
and also, production companies have been known for putting out misinformation sometimes to just keep people going. This show will also feature Tegan Croft as Raven. Mm-hmm. You're going to get Minka Kelly as Dawn Granger in this one. You're going to get Ryan Potter as Beast Boy. You get Anna Diop as Coriander. I mean, the casting seems right,
and we've got looks at Hawk and Dove.
Yeah, we've got our first looks at Hawk and Dove,
which are on the website. They're on the website, TrustySidekick.com. You can check that out.
And also, this is another show where they've said you can see some potential crossovers. So the idea of the Titans crossing over with the Arrowverse is out there.
Okay, so it is an Arrowverse show. It is. It's just not on the CW.
Correct. It is just on the streaming app. So
I can live with that.
It's still a show that's run by the Berlantiverse people. This is still a show that Wally could end up on at at some point.
I see why. I think that's a beautiful thing. We talked about this on our best and worst TV
Mr.
shows.
Terrific could wind up there.
They can put these characters different places. It's going to be real nice to see where they go. It's going to be interesting. Speaking of a show that's coming to a network that I still today don't know why the fuck this got greenlit. Krypton. Now, here's the problem. Any of you motherfuckers, I'm just going to get upset and hostile real quick. Nobody can convince me why we need a fucking Krypton show. Why do we need a prequel to Superman's homeland 500 fucking years before he even is in existence? Where everybody is normal fucking people because they're on Krypton. There are no powers to them. Explain this shit.
So they did just release a synopsis and a release date. It is coming in March of 2018, so we're not going to have to wait too long to find out whether it's any good or not. They did alter a couple things. Originally it was supposed to be 500 years. Now it's just 2 generations, which is not that much longer before we get to the part where the place blows up. I have the same concern you do. In fact, I think I would voice this concern right when we first started talking about this, which is the only thing that makes Superman special to us, aside from the fact that he's a good guy, is the fact that he's got powers that are bestowed upon him by the Earth's sun.
Right. On
Krypton, they ain't got no powers. Gravity's different. The sun isn't the same. They're just people, and they're the same way that we're people here. The upside to what I'm seeing on Krypton is this is meant to be a time travel movie where you're going to get introduced to a lot of other characters who are involved. Apparently, Adam Strange travels back in time to let Sag-El, who is 2 generations before you get to Kal-El, know that his planet's in grave danger, and this series is going to be about dealing with that. So, it may still be useless. Sci-fi makes some goofy shows sometimes that don't do very well. I remember when they made their pre-Battlestar Galactica show that was
my God,
Caprica, which I liked, but it only got one season.
You were one of 8 people that like Caprica.
Yep.
I wish you got, again, we need to do this where we can video this, because I wanted y'all to see my face the whole time Bobby was trying to explain Krypton.
There is not a single actor on the show that I've ever heard of before
that I give a fuck about.
So it'll be interesting to see. It comes in March. Hopefully it's not terrible. I won't be surprised if it is.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with this one. I don't think I'll be surprised if it's bad.
It'll have to surprise me.
Yeah, to be good.
It'll have to surprise me.
I'm just like, okay, this is going to be horrible. The next one, now this show doesn't have a home yet because, again, it's been filmed. They've been shooting it out. And a picture leak that took down, it's Marvel's New Warriors. Now, I forgot who the bad guy was. We put it up on our website on the TrustySidekick.com. He took a picture of him and the cast together.
Like an idiot.
And it was on Instagram. And evidently it got around and somebody was like, take that shit down now.
Yeah, they had him take that down right away. They weren't going to let him leave that up at all.
And no one, like myself included, didn't screenshot it because I wish I would have had it. It was hilarious when it happened. But this show still doesn't have a home.
No, it's still looking for somewhere to go. They do have Milena Vantrub as Squirrel Girl. They've got a full cast that's set to go with this thing. They've got the whole thing ready to go. They just need to find a place to put it. This is a Marvel TV show. It's supposed to be a comedy. Derek Theller from Baby Daddy is supposed to be in it. Jeremy Tardy from Dear White People is in it. Callum Worthy is in this. Matthew Moy is in it. Kate Comer. I'm excited to see where it winds up. I am pretty sure this could also end up over on Hulu when it's all said.
Yeah, originally it was said to go on Freeform, but then they said that the theme of the show didn't fit what Freeform is.
Yeah.
So that's why Cloak and Dagger fits and this one doesn't, because this is a comedy. Cloak and Dagger's not a comedy.
Yeah, I could see this working out well on their Hulu platform.
I'm just a little nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a wee bit nervous.
It's Marvel's first attempt at a comedy.
And we talked about in our best and worst, what one of our worst shows was. It was a comedy
by DC.
Now I get that there's 2 different companies, but Marvel has not done full on comedy shows.
Now they have done some movies with comedy that we've talked about doing pretty well. I mean,
yes,
Thor was your favorite movie.
Thor was my favorite movie of last year.
And so I mean, maybe they've got the right comedy people in there to do comedy for them.
I hope so, man. I really do hope so.
Returning, we've got a couple shows that are coming back that we've seen seasons of before. Daredevil season 3 is going to happen for Netflix.
Yeah, they're doing the I forgot. I just had the name of the storyline in my head. Which one they're doing? Jesus Christ! It was I can't remember. It was a miniseries they did. I just had it in my head, and I hate the fact that I forgot it. I'm so mad at myself that I don't remember.
It's the Born Again storyline.
Born Again storyline. Yes, that's the one. I was like, some would it be? They're doing the Born Again storyline, so that's where they're going with this.
That's when they find out his true identity gets revealed. Wilson Fisk uses that to his advantage. Vincent D'Onofrio is coming back for season 3, I'm jacked about.
I'm wondering, are they going to do where Fisk puts him out on display publicly? Or
I'm not sure.
Or will they do Fisk saying, listen, I will make your life a living hell and tell people who you are?
Yeah, one of the things I struggled with the Defenders was the way the season ended. I mean, I like the idea of Matt Murdock in that scene at the very end, but the way that ended, I had a problem with. I do like the idea
fucking building on him.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And he's not unbreakable.
But I do like the idea that they're going to run this series, this version of the show this season. So I'm excited about Daredevil and its 3rd season.
I hope it stays dark. It has to stay dark.
I hope it moves a little bit quicker. I know it's been a shame for not moving as quickly. I would say I would like to see all the Netflix shows maybe drop an episode or 2 so they can smooth up the action a little bit.
Defenders was 8. And
Defenders was fine at 8, but I mean, the rest of the
13.
series are 13 episodes. They can do 12 episodes.
There's always a filler episode.
There's always a bullshit episode in there.
Yeah, there's always one. Speaking of which, coming back to Netflix in March, this March coming up, 2018.
Yep.
Jessica Jones season 2.
Excited about this.
I'm happy for that. Also, every episode of this season is directed by women.
That seems like it makes sense.
Especially given the issues that season 1 touched on.
Yeah.
I think that would not have happened. I think this would not have happened of having 13 women directors if season 1 wouldn't have been as poignant as it was.
Yeah.
In certain things it touched upon, because it touched on rape, it touched on PTSD involving that, it touched on mental abuse, emotional abuse. So,
manipulation, gaslighting. I mean,
what the fuck is gaslighting?
Gaslighting is...
and when did this become a term? Like 8 months ago?
Oh, since I was a kid. I learned about that term when I was a kid.
What the fuck is gaslighting?
Gaslighting is convincing someone that they're crazy.
Oh, that's what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, it's trying to lead somebody down a path in which later on you can be like, I never said those things, or that's not what we're... you know what I mean? You'll see that happen in arguments where someone tries to make someone seem like they... Like, it's usually It's usually a part of manipulation. You're trying to manipulate somebody to feel like they are wrong or should feel bad about something they shouldn't feel bad about. You know what I mean? Like, you screw up and then you try to make somebody else feel bad for asking you to do a thing, and that's gaslighting.
Okay, because I want the audience to know for sure that where I grew up at, we never used that term.
Yeah.
So it would never.
I heard that term when I was a kid. I don't think this is the podcast to share why I heard it, but for sure I know that's.
Yeah, but it's like I never heard it. So when I hear it, like I'm like, what the fuck is gaslighting? But that comes out in March. Let's see.
Jay's gonna learn so much from Jessica Jones season 2.
I can admit, because I've watched season 1 like 4 times.
Speaking about watching something, Legion's 2nd season comes out.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have to watch this show intently. This is not a show you can put on and just say, oh, I'm going to let it play in the background.
No. You can't go do shit while Legion is on. You might as well just put on noise.
You will miss so much. This show is good. Now, there's only one big piece of news we have right now from that.
Sayid Tagumi was supposed to play the Shadow King, which made me super excited. He was in Wonder Woman.
Yes, he was.
He is not going to be doing the series now, which is too bad.
Sucks.
I would have liked that a lot better. And then last, Luke Cage is going to be having its 2nd season. There's not a lot of information about that. They've been filming it. Obviously, you're going to get Misty Knight back again with her robot arm. Mm-hmm. And Lucy Liu, I think, is directing an episode or 2 in there, too. So those are the only things I've really heard about the series, though. I think they've wrapped on it already.
I've said this before when it comes to the movies of comic book characters, and I will apply it again to the TV shows. I hate when they give you their biggest villains out the gate.
Yeah, I'm worried about where Luke Cage is going to go.
Because you gave us
a better villain.
Because you gave us both Diamondback and Cottonmouth already. You gave us 2. Now, unless he's got other snake named Venom,
Garter. He's going to fight Garter.
Cobra, you know what I'm saying? Snake named villains. I don't know what to expect. I'm hoping that they learn that Cheo Hodar Kadoki, is that his name? I can't remember.
Let's go with that.
We'll go with that. I hope they learn that do not kill this show, make the show go down at episode 7, halfway through.
Cheo Hodari Coker.
That's my apologies for the name Butcher. Because
if your name's Cheryl Hidari Coker, you know people are fucking it up.
they're fucking up your name at least 3 times a day.
Enough. I mean,
but yeah, because season 1 was so great until episode 7 when Mahershala Ali was killed off.
Yeah,
and it was like you saw the complete trajectory change.
Yep,
where it went low.
Yeah, it totally fell off after that.
And it was like, it shouldn't feel like this as the show, but it did, unfortunately.
Why you made me feel that way, show? Show me where the show touched you.
In my heart.
Right in my feelings.
In my feels. All of my feels. Now let's go to the part of 2018 that's going to spark a lot of conversation. Not controversy, but conversation.
Probably some controversy.
Yeah, because it's coming. I wish they'd take off. The movies for 2018.
Yeah.
If you have not seen the slate, I don't know where you've been hiding under.
Get you a slate, motherfucker. How you not see the slate, nigga? Get you a slate.
You get 8 comic book movies this year, okay? And none of these are really like, throw by the wayside. Because people are going to watch a couple of them because you're like, what the fuck are y'all going to do?
All of these movies matter. As far as comic book fans
comic
go.
Comic book movie lives matter.
But I mean, they all play a real role in a couple different ways. These movies all play a role in either A, setting up something going on in a continuing universe that we've been following. They test to see whether certain characters can do solidly in a sequel. This next year of movies test to find out whether an idea for what's traditionally been a fan favorite type of character can work under the umbrella of a shaky movie company. And also we get to see a couple of those things happen. And we get to see if somebody can bring a couple characters back from the brink of not being very great this year. So
let's just get into it. Number 1.
Yeah.
First movie of them all. Now,
we'll talk about how I feel about these movies in a minute, but go ahead.
A movie that I am personally right now, I will say it on this podcast, as I've said on social media. If you follow me, you know it. I feel like every person of color, there should only be persons of color representing all these networks, both digital and cable.
I'm rooting for everybody black.
Yup, I'm Issa Rae in it. Covering this film because of only if they're qualified, not just throwing regular black people like.
Oh, we're gonna start figuring out qualifications now.
Yeah, because you don't want to start throwing a microphone to somebody's hand who don't know how to conduct interviews. I've been saying this. I believe there only should be, because of the significance and historical precedent set by this. Black Panther debuts in February.
February 16th, Black Panther comes out. We're going to have a Coming to America style procession.
If we don't, I will make sure that
down Hollywood Avenue.
Hollywood Boulevard. I'm trying to figure out who I got to talk to right now. Get that shit.
She's your queen to be
an object of affection.
Lexus is already sold out to try and get all the black people money.
Yes, they did.
Lexus put out a Black Panther sports car.
And they made it purple.
With the claws and everything.
And they made it purple. Out of all the things. I was like, oh, you niggas is on bullshit.
That car looks like somebody's Sunday Gator. I'm excited for this movie. There's been so many great choices already made in the making of this movie. Mm-hmm. The decision by Chadwick Boseman to use an African accent to play the character. So that, because he didn't want to give the idea that he would have had to have left Africa to be educated, right, and picked up an English or an American accent by being educated elsewhere, that you could learn to be a genius or a smart person or good education right in Africa, which I think is important. I think also the use of female characters in this movie is probably going to be pretty splendid. I'm really looking forward to see his security force work for him.
The Dora Milaje.
Yeah, so I'm excited for all that to happen, and I'm excited for some real fucking badass barbecues in LA in February to celebrate this movie.
It's gonna go down.
I hope that we come out like we did for Doug Jones for this movie.
Oh, you lousy motherfucker. Oh, this thing brought up this. Oh, I hate Bobby so much. All right, so I know a lot of people who have been talking. This is one of the biggest things about this. I've been talking to so many people whose grandparents aren't even familiar with this character. But just off the fact they saw these trailers.
Oh, Black Panther?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You know there's going to be give me some sugar. Grandma's coming to
man, let me tell y'all something. Peppermints. There's going to be so many peppermints in the eye. Peppermints in the house.
You'll be watching the movies. You ain't gonna hear nothing but candy wrestling. It's gonna be. You know how people bring jewel bags and shit. You know old people bring jewel bags. You gonna smell fish up in that motherfucker.
It's gonna be fish, hot sauce, nigga, lemon pepper. It's gonna be
barbecuing in the goddamn AMC.
Some nigga sneaking in a 40. I don't know how he gonna do it, but he's sneaking in a 40.
You'll hear that bottle roll.
A tall can of 211 Steel Reserve.
Oh man!
So
by the way, let's keep it chill at these motherfuckers.
Yeah, let's say this right now.
Let's show them how we do it, okay? In a way that shows that like we deserve to have these moments.
Listen, I understand that there are times when black people
remember when the Bulls went on them titles and they had to send Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson on TV and Michael Jordan on TV.
Hey everybody, we're happy that we won.
We like to win like y'all like to win, but not exactly like y'all like to win.
Can y'all stop tearing up the city, please?
Hey, niggas, go to the house. We gonna party together on the streets.
Also, I remember when Boys in the Hood was premiering in theaters and niggas wanted to have shootouts.
God damn, it was
vicious. Listen, I understand we have a multitude of races that listen to us: black, white, Thai, Asian, African, everybody. Let me just
talk. Our people be wild now.
Let me talk to the niggas right now that's listening to this shit. Listen even to the black people. Listen to the niggas. Look, I'm needing you niggas to calm the fuck down when you go see this. I don't give a fuck if you see a nigga you don't like. Don't talk to this nigga. Don't look at this nigga. If you ain't got to sit next to this motherfucker because you didn't buy seats early enough, and it's your fucking fault. But don't you fight this nigga in the show, okay?
Ladies, limit the size of your movie dues.
Yo, lace front.
Get high.
Oh my mama,
y'all high lace front.
Your lace front better be a minimum of 2 inches off your motherfucking forehead. And maximum action.
I mean, yeah, we need to limit the height on them. We need to be able to see everything in 3D, goddamn. We ain't trying to fuck around.
Also, make sure you have a fucking babysitter.
Yeah, get you a babysitter.
You bring your motherfucking kids to this theater.
No, this is a movie you teach your son about when it's out on DVD, goddammit.
Teach this motherfucker when it's on.
Stream that nigga.
Stream that shit for him, okay?
You go watch it in the theater, and then you go home and Cody that motherfucker. Pay money for the movie.
Then go home
and Cody it for the kid.
Now, I'm saying, don't you bring your little snot nose out. Mama, I gotta.
I'm teaching little motherfuckers discipline for this movie.
I'm telling y'all right now, if you have your kid in the theater, and this is coming from two fathers, I'm finna go. I don't know why when I get upset, my Brooklyn accent come from, and I'm from the south side of Chicago. I'm finna tell y'all straight up how the fuck I feel. If you bring your son and your daughter and they start crying, yo, I'm shooting them little motherfuckers with a super soaker. I'm keeping water pistols.
Oh yeah, like you were with cats. I'm just gonna have spray bottles.
I'm having spray bottles.
Spraying kids.
I'm spraying. I'm spraying your babies in the face, yo. I swear to God, yo, I'm spraying them with non-Avion water.
It's just regular tap water. You're getting all the minerals.
I'm giving all the minerals they don't need, yo. I'm giving them all the vaccines in the spray of the face. I'm not playing with your babies. Also, if your grandmama can't see, take her ass somewhere else.
Yeah, old people, get your hearing aids right before you go up in that motherfucker. Don't be asking no goddamn questions.
Don't tell your uncle that wear them fucking mandals every time he on the grill.
Nah.
That nigga stays home.
Get your piss out you before you walk in the theater.
Because don't you have to go pee and you sit your monkey ass in the middle of the aisle.
No.
Excuse me, pardon me. Oh, excuse me.
You sit your small bladder ass to the side.
You sit your small bladder ass in the aisle, okay? I'm sorry. This is something we have to do for niggas.
Black excellence, okay?
Black excellence. Also, black excellence don't mean you bitches come dressed like you going to prom.
Yeah, you're not going to the Academy Awards, motherfucker. This is just a movie you're about to go watch in the dark.
You niggas do not need to come out in 3-piece suits and fucking ballroom dresses.
No top hats and canes at the goddamn.
You niggas ain't gotta come out here looking like the WB Frog. Don't you do this shit.
So just be chill. Buy your tickets in advance.
And go enjoy the movie. Don't you sneak no candy in this motherfucker either. Because I know what you listen. I'm talking to the niggas. Because I love y'all. Y'all my people. Everything I'm saying for y'all not to do is shit I will do. So you can't say.
We know there's a reason why we know this is the shit that goes on.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want people like, yo, they being hypocrites. No, nigga, I would have a bag tucked in my side.
Right.
Like,
if this was Power Rangers, I get it.
I get it. Yo, if you going to see Power, my nigga, listen.
Paddington 2, one of the motherfuckers.
Yo. Yo, listen, take all the candies you can. You know what I mean?
For this one, let's play fair.
Okay?
Let's let them see
that we deserve.
That we can open a big movie too.
We can show the box office that the reason we've waited so long for this, and we waited so long, and they should regret it. The box office numbers should show that they regretted waiting this long.
Yeah, that we want to show that T'Challa can play as big as Steve Rogers, as Tony Stark, as anybody else.
Yeah, so we want to do that, man.
Let's do it right. February 16th.
Right, so that's our thoughts on Black Panther. Black excellence. You niggas better not have a revolution.
April 13th.
The New Mutants, R-rated horror.
An R-rated horror movie coming from the new Marvel Studios Disney Fox conglomerate.
Is it? No, I think
it's not done yet, but
it's technically still. They're just gonna have it under the Fox.
Yeah, it'll still be Fox, but you know.
So horror.
It'll be Fox like Volkswagen is Audi. You know.
Shut the fuck.
Like, yeah, okay, you can call it Jetta if you want to. Nigga, I know an A3 one.
So, yeah, R-rated horror film. R-rated horror film. The trailer. We got one trailer.
We do have a trailer. This movie I'm super, super excited about. For one, because it's a new concept.
Yes,
the idea of a horror movie with superheroes is a great idea because when you're dealing with heroes that have psychological powers, right? Mm-hmm. The ability to put in bad things is just, I mean, that's a major part of what you can do. When you can instill nightmares in someone or get them to think a certain way and play off of those fears, I think that's a super great premise that you can use for a movie with superheroes, because then you can see how they play off that. Especially when you're dealing with kids that are having a large outburst. There's a part in the trailer where they talk about young cobras and how they have a venom they're much more likely to attack, and their venom is much stronger than older cobras. And I'm excited to see this play out, because basically what they're suggesting is that is what you'll find.
Okay, so I'm here for that. I'm excited to see that. Okay. Yeah, I wrote it at the bottom. I want you to read that. So after that, we get the big one, the one for the text message. Okay. We get the big one, the one we've been waiting for, which is 18. After Black Panther comes out, will be 18 films in the making. 18 films, 10 years in the making
for Marvel.
Right. Avengers: Infinity War.
Yeah, this is just a tremendous undertaking. I mean, we don't know all the characters who are going to be in the movie. We don't know everybody's going to be in it. We have seen a lot of the characters you're going to find in this movie.
And we've heard there's going to be way more surprises.
We found out that Thanos is popping up right away.
Yo,
they're not going to waste it. First 5 minutes.
Russo say the first 5 minutes. So listen, this is something you need to take heed to. Many people like to say, oh shit, I'm okay if I'm a little bit late. Right. I won't miss anything. For them to say the first 5 minutes, you need to be there for this.
Get in there for that.
So we know certain things that are going to happen. We know certain directions some things may go. Of course, Spider-Man lives because Tom Holland can't keep his mouth shut.
There's 2 more movies for him to make, so he ain't going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere. Tony Stark is set to die because he has to, and Robert Downey Jr. has put in his time.
I mean, come on. If there's a character who should be able to get to die, it should be Tony Stark at this point.
And the question becomes, besides just Tony, do the other core Avengers die?
Who knows? It seems like you keep hearing from Jeremy Renner, who plays Hawkeye, and he seems to enjoy the arc that he's getting here. So I'm not sure if he's happy because he's going to get a lot of time to live or die. So I'm not sure where that's going to go. But we are going to lose some people. I mean,
here's what I think is going to happen.
Thor's done 3 movies. There's no need for him to be around anymore.
But Taika Waititi has expressed proud interest in wanting to do a Thor Ragnarok 2.
Yeah. He could potentially just leave, too.
He could.
He's always a character who can just leave and be gone till whenever they decide whether they want to do something with him or not. I think you might get some of that, where you may not get deaths, but you may get some characters who just go to places, other worlds, distant planets, where you're just not going to see these motherfuckers for a while.
I would say this about Hawkeye. I know what's going to happen with him.
Well, we know
his family dies.
Yeah,
they're gonna die, and it's happening.
He becomes Ronin
because he has to. That's what has to.
That'll be the drive that turns him to Ronin, and hopefully builds his skill set a little bit.
Well, at least he lets you know his skill set ain't shit, though.
He does come straight out.
He was like, "Yo, it's all these people going on, and I got a bow and arrow. I don't know what I'm doing."
That movie's gonna make billions and billions of dollars.
I think
you get the return of Chris Evans as Steve Rogers
with the beard.
So I don't want Nomad.
Everybody want the Nomad dude. Everybody's like, he's got the beard. So this is going to be I want to predict its numbers opening weekend because I want to say, because by the time we record this, Star Wars had opened at about 250 in just the U.S. 240, 250. Is it safe to say this can do 300?
Yeah, I would think so. I'm looking at HollywoodStockExchange.com, and it's projecting a really high value for it. I think guessing it's going to wind up somewhere in the 300 range wouldn't be crazy. They've pulled in so many different fans, so many different movies, so many different characters. I think as you get closer to the movie time, you're going to start to see other characters that are involved start to be revealed.
Yeah.
And so by the time you get ready for the movie, it's just you're going to be wanting to go see all these different people end up there. They've been calling to this for 10 years. This is 10 years of movies.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I want to know. I think this movie
I think it will blow out what this Star Wars movie did.
I think its opening weekend can hit 300-400 million
record setter
in the U.S. alone.
That's gonna be. I don't know if there's enough theaters to do it in, but it's gonna be an amazing.
You got to remember, just like people have done with the Star Wars film, people will see this multiple times.
Oh yeah,
I know people who've gone to see Star Wars. By the time we record this, have seen it at least 4 times.
I mean, it's possible I may see this movie a couple of times.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised now. The next one is something that a lot of people have been waiting for. It's really a lot of anticipation behind it, but it's also now going to be shrouded in controversy.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that right now. Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2 returns. It's the sequel to the movie.
Yes.
Deadpool, more money, more problems is what I'm going to call
this one. As always.
Yeah, Deadpool is back. They brought in Josh Brolin to play Cable. So Josh Brolin will be in Avengers Infinity War as Thanos, and then literally... a month later, he will be Cable in Deadpool. So he is going to probably be named People's Sexiest Man of the Year or some shit next year because people always win awards in the year. They got a bunch of shit coming out. So get ready for a boatload of Josh Brolin on your TV screens everywhere. I personally thought that the last Deadpool movie was an average movie. I know that I argue with a lot of people on that.
I've heard that a couple times from different people, though.
I
listened to people who said, I'm sorry to cut you off.
It's okay.
But I've listened to people who have said what you said. And I thought you were like in a very small, probably by yourself, island with this.
Yeah, it's a. And here's the thing: I did like the Deadpool movie, but if you're not familiar with a boatload of pop culture, and if you believe that third act should be better than first acts, then if you think that movie should be a culmination from first to third act and not spend everything up front, then you might have a problem with that movie. And so I'm not sure if they will solve those problems for the second movie, personally. I think the inclusion of Cable is good, but I also fear that, especially the way that Fox has been before this new takeover, Fox is very good at really gumming up somebody's story.
Yes.
And so it's very possible that Cable could be terrible. And a lot of times with these movies, Deadpool was made almost on a shoestring big movie budget. They've got a lot more money for this one. I'm worried that they may have a little too much.
Well, the thing with that is that was the reason Tim Miller, the original director of Deadpool 1, was kicked off, because he figured we got more money now. Let's keep this streamlined. And Ryan Reynolds was like, no.
Right.
We can act like we don't have the money.
Right.
Because that's what made this movie fun.
Yep.
Now, with the inclusion of all the characters, like you said,
Domino's in this, Zazie Bates.
So it's like it can be skeptical.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead is back in this. Are you cramming too many characters in this now?
Well, I think no, because we didn't have. Of course, they didn't have the money at first to do. Because Gina Carano's character was supposed to be 3 characters.
Originally, correct.
Originally supposed to be 3 characters. So let's just say now we add 2 more characters, and that's Zazie Beetz and Cable.
Sure.
So are we overcrowding it?
I don't know.
When originally, only because we didn't have the money in the first one to do what we wanted to do, so we would have saw it the same. If that makes sense.
Yep.
We'd have saw it the same. So I'm like, what scares me is. And I have to trust Ryan Reynolds on this. I haven't seen anything. I've seen the regular Deadpool promotion, the way he does it. Right. And I get what that is. That's going to be what it's going to be. I need to see, beside the teaser that you gave us, I need a trailer.
I need some hint that there's some story that's going to happen in this movie.
I need a hint to that. So, and that was kind of the scary part, because I know you're gonna give a teaser. I get it. I get that. Yes, and I'm gonna say I get it. I get it. But I want to know that I'm not going into something that's like, oh my God, now you have all this money.
I'm worried that there's a lot of sound and fury signifying nothing. Like, there's all this hubbub and like, oh, it's a Bob Ross thing before the trailer. And, oh, look at this painting. And, oh, look at this picture. And then you get to the movie and it's dog shit because they're spending all this time making these cute little things that keep you excited, but not one thing about why I'm supposed to be involved in this story.
That's how I feel.
You know what I mean? Like, what about the story am I interested in? Am I just interested because this guy's going to come back and talk some shit for another hour and a half? Well, that's not enough.
Because Morena Baccarin reprises her role as Vanessa, too.
Right.
So it's like, I don't want to see...
You know who else is in this movie?
Who? Oh, yeah. We didn't... Man, I was hoping we was going to skip past that. All right, so here's the controversy part. T.J. Miller, who plays Weasel, who was an essential part of the first movie. If we remember when the trailers first dropped, we saw the back and forth of how his face looked.
Yes.
And Weasel is his best friend. As of the time we're recording this, it has just come up of T.J. Miller being accused of sexual assault.
Correct.
From an old allegation that's been resurfaced. Now, he had a show on Comedy Central, which, let me say this. T.J. Miller had a show on Comedy Central called The Gorburger Show.
Right.
And all of a sudden, these allegations...
What? Who? What show?
The Gorburger.
Right.
He was an alien named Gorburger.
So nobody heard of that.
Okay. And so all of a sudden, because of these allegations, Comedy Central said, well, in light of the new sexual allegations, we're effectively canceling The Gorburger Show. Which I'm 99% sure you motherfuckers was doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And you just said, hey, now we seem like good guys.
Now, I think no matter what level they were probably ready to cancel the show at, this allegation probably helped put it over the top. But for sure, the show wasn't wasn't just doing well.
The show wasn't just like, oh, this is a ratings generator.
It's like, oh, are you just gonna throw out my trash for me? Is that what you're? Yeah, T.J. Miller has been accused of sexual assault.
So they're wrapped.
He's already shot his scenes. I mean, there will likely be some pushback regardless of what comes out in the next few months. Deadpool 2 is set to drop in June, so regardless of what comes out of the story, whether he is fully exonerated, whether he...
Does it affect the box office?
It depends on how much press they let him do. I think if he's not heavily involved in the actual press, there's been enough other problems with this movie too. They had a stunt actor die on set while they were filming.
I remember that. Yeah.
So they've had a couple issues already. This movie's already had some trouble. I think their smartest move would be to not let him really be a part of what's going on press wise, unless.
Oh yeah, you definitely.
Unless this story is fixed by the time press time rolls around. Unless either it turns out that this woman wasn't being honest, or he does some type of character renovation before that time comes. I think the best thing to do is to hide him because he's in it already. He's in it already. Unless his scenes are cuttable and they decide they want to cut him and they find just cause to do that, he's going to probably be in the movie. Yeah. I'm always in favor of hearing someone out for what they claim has happened to them. Maybe if they find a way to get him out of there. But it has already shot, and you just kind of figure out how that's going to work from there on. But hopefully it doesn't create too much of an issue for the movie itself. Obviously, the bigger issue is, someone who's potentially been assaulted is more important than the box office of a movie. So that's the bigger thing that probably needs to be squared away. But the movie, I think, will do fine because he's not the star of the movie.
Yeah, I'm assuming that they were talking about this sequel. They were going to focus more on the sidelines of both Weasel and Dopinder.
Well, then they probably are going to deal with some issues.
See what I'm saying? Because that makes a big problem.
He's going to have to clear his name sometime in the next 6 months for that to probably go well. After Deadpool 2, we get the return of Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp on July 6th.
I like some of the pictures that I've seen that I put up on the TrustySidekick.com that we saw of Ant-Man and the Wasp in their new costumes. You're going to get Wasp's mother's going to come in now, and she's young because she's been trapped in the quantum realm.
You get Michelle Pfeiffer.
She's playing. Is she the mother or? Oh, she's her mom.
Yeah,
I didn't know exactly. I couldn't remember what her role was.
Yeah. Evangeline Lilly is playing the Wasp.
Yes, right.
And Michelle Pfeiffer is playing the mother. This movie is going to fully jump into the quantum universe. So
Yes,
we're going to really, Avengers 3 is probably going to set us up for what that is, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to really delve into it and kind of lead us into the new phase of the Marvel universe.
Which is Captain Marvel.
That'll help get us to the Captain Marvel side of things. A lot of the future of Marvel is going to take place in space, at least for the next probably 10 years.
Yeah, James Gunn has already said he wants to helm that, and Kevin Feige is not objecting to it. And honestly, granted, I had some issues with Guardians 2, but I think James Gunn knows how to do space.
Well, and obviously with the inclusion of their new group of Fox characters, they have a wealth of characters they can keep in space.
Yeah,
there's a lot of space characters that they've just pulled in with this addition of all of these X-Men characters and mutants that they can really.
If it officially locks down.
I mean, if the Shi'ar becomes part of something, now you got. I mean,
here's the problem with that, and that has to come up in a movie we'll talk about after this one.
Correct.
So just hold that thought. This is the one that is going to terrify the world.
This is a very questionable movie.
This is a very questionable one. The Venom movie.
Venom movie comes in October. They're filming it right now.
They're heavy into it. Like
there's some video that's coming out now. That
it's a lot of Tom Hardy fighting.
Nobody. A lot of him fighting nobody. Just fighting characters are going to be there later.
What?
Yeah.
Are they going
to? There have been a couple pictures released of what was potentially a bust of what they were going to try and show the symbiote costume to be. It looks like the symbiote and not a bio suit like they've talked about. So maybe they've gone back to it being the actual symbiote. There's been a number of different versions of the stories of what they were going to use to tell the character.
Supposed to use the story, the Lethal Protector angle where him and Spider-Man have a truce.
Right.
He goes to San Francisco, but you haven't had Spider-Man. He hasn't dealt with. He didn't even do it in Sony's incantations of Spider-Man. Like they did it the third way in Spider-Man 3, and then we died. We killed that off, thank God. And then Andrew Garfield.
So I like
this.
Tom Hardy playing a Venom character.
Okay.
Eddie Brock, I'm fine with that.
I just need help understand this.
But you really need to pull out your top 3 Venom stories. I don't understand why when they're getting ready to do one of these movies, when they know that trilogies are kind of the thing, that you don't go hunt down and go, okay, 3, 2, and 1, and we're going to tell the stories in this order, and we're going to try and find a way to make this work. So or at least villain-wise or antagonist-wise, find your 3 best antagonists, find stories that work, and see if you can tell that in a linear manner from 1 through 3. But they don't do that. And now they've got this thing that's chopped together of a couple different stories. You have a character that is a version of Eddie Brock, maybe. It seems like they're just like taking chunks
yes,
of
they
things
are, and trying to make one movie
and make it into one movie because they like this suit and they like this guy and they like this love interest. Michelle Williams has confirmed that she's playing Anne Wang, who becomes She-Venom at one point. You're probably gonna get multiple Venoms in here, like Phage and Cassidy and
you talking about the other
symbiote, Carnage, the other symbiotes, yeah.
So and they were that's the Maximum Carnage angle, which they told they might be doing.
There's potential for this to go really poorly.
Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't see any way this can. And it may sounds like I'm being a worry worsome or negative Nancy or whatever, but it doesn't seem like there's any way that this can be good.
Well, here's the thing: it could be a good movie, but it could be canonically very bad. Okay. Right? Like, who knows? Maybe they turn out a good movie. I'm not seeing any. I don't know the footage. I don't know.
You're right.
Like,
you're right.
You may go watch that, and if you can disconnect yourself from what you know about Venom storylines, then it may end up being a good movie objectively, right? Subjectively, you may watch it and go, this doesn't fit with what I know about this character at all.
I think that'll be the hardest thing to have happen.
Because I tend to go see movies with at least one person who has an objective viewpoint, because mine is very subjective when I go see these movies, right? I've got a lot of personal investment into this, but I go and usually see them with someone who doesn't and is just looking to see a good movie, and it's always good to hear their feedback. And so someone who I know is objective goes and sees a good movie about this character, I don't know. Maybe they make a good one, but their track record is poor. So why would I expect that?
Yeah, I'm just so skeptical about what could be. Just it's a way to try to separate, of course, but when you have a character that's as prominent as Venom, and the last time they tried to do Venom on screen, it was a bastardization. I can't be excited for it.
Yeah, and my feeling has been that Sony tries to overdo it with their characters.
Yes, they do.
And so I have a feeling that they're going to probably try and ramp this up too much also, and I fear it's not going to turn out well. And another series that needs to have a good showing here to really keep itself on the up and up. X-Men Dark Phoenix comes out on November 2nd. Simon Kinberg is taking over the role. He's directing this one. It's a story idea that he is building off of. It's his own personal story that he's written before, the X-Men Dark Phoenix saga. We are again getting the Dark Phoenix saga. There's been 2 versions of X-Men. There's been 2 versions of Jean Grey in the movies, and in both of them we've gotten.
I don't know
the
why they're so quick to rush this storyline.
There are so many good stories.
Storylines. You don't have to rush this one. The Dark Phoenix storyline is not an essential. You must do. Okay.
The smartest thing they would do, they should do, is sign up Sophie Turner for like 6 movies, and slowly build her as an integrated part of the series as they fade Jennifer Lawrence out. But they didn't do that, so now they're stuck with this. Now, I will say that because Fox in making mutant movies and TV shows has had a pretty solid run over the last 4 or 5 that they've done, I have hopes that are looking up for this movie. But I'm concerned that it's going to be another version. Now, the singer's gone. He's not involved in the franchise anymore. I've heard that's made for a much better set. But that sometimes turns into the chemistry you need to make something happen. Jessica Chastain is in this movie. She doesn't make a lot of stinkers. So I'm again, I want to see good X-Men movies. The other bright side of this is that if it doesn't go well, Disney is now in charge. So this would be the last shitty thing you'll see.
There's the catch-22.
You'll either get redemption,
right? It's redemption or restart.
Yeah,
it's a redemption or a restart.
I'm comfortable either way.
Because I'm like, it's either. Hey,
and I know you struggle with the last couple of X-Men movies.
Yeah, because X-Men Apocalypse, you
did not like.
No,
you did not like it.
No,
I did not like it.
I did not like it at all. I did not like it because I thought I did like a lot. I did not like it a lot because I didn't like Apocalypse. You disgraced one of your most powerful characters in that universe. Storm was pointless. Archangel was pointless. The best thing y'all was doing was like, we got Olivia Munn.
She was actually one of the people. I mean, she does work, but it's stunt casting.
We got Olivia Munn, and so that was my thing. That was my thing with that. X-Men: The Last Stand. Everybody knows how bad that was. There's no other way to try to There's no other way to try to put that. It was just bad. It was just bad. This is just, it doesn't, I don't have high hopes and expectations because, again, you're rushing the storyline.
Yeah, I'm worried about them jumping. I would be up to see Simon Kinberg direct a movie. I'd be up to see him take the reins. I like the direction where Fox has gone with its movies. My only concern is that this is the story that they're doing. That's my main concern, is that this is the story that they're doing. I wish they weren't doing this story.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you on that one. Let's go to our last movie that's coming out of the year, and it's going to be a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's a DC movie.
It's a DC movie.
It is the only DC movie.
Coming out in 2018, which is hilarious.
Only DC movie.
Because we were supposed to be getting Flashpoint this year.
I mean, these were the guys who were going to be making a run. They were going to turn all around, catch up to Marvel. They were going to catch Marvel and make a bunch of movies and get on the same page.
A certain collaboration film did not happen and did not turn out well for them.
Well, they were tripping before that.
Oh, they were tripping way before that, but they thought Justice League would be the biggest rebound for them, and then it would be the saving grace going into all these other films, and that's not the case. And we get Aquaman on December 21st.
Yeah, it's one of the characters that they liked from, well, at least the bigwigs at Warner Brothers liked.
Well, I wonder this too. So, in Justice League, the original Zack Snyder cut, he's a darker, more brooding Aquaman.
Yeah.
In the Josh Whedon cut, he's more, all right, let's do this.
He's more of a party time Aquaman.
No, he's Jason Momoa. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's Jason Momoa.
He's Lisa Bonet's husband.
That's exactly what he is.
Yeah.
So my question becomes, does James Wan, which version does he keep?
I think you get a little bit of both. This is a character who, from what I understand, in Justice League had not really been to Atlantis a whole lot by the time that starts. That's what I read. He's kind of not he's been more on the Earth side, which is why he's a little more.
That's why his brother has their resentment.
And that's why he's a little bit more of this kind of like gung ho yeehaw, like all right. That's why he's a little bit more of that cowboyish surfer dudeish kind of a character.
Oh my Lord Jesus!
I am hoping that we don't get the underwater speech bubbles.
Well,
which we've told we're not going to.
James Wan said no.
I want to hear how they solve that problem. I'm concerned about a movie that's underwater for a lot of it, but I do like Jason Momoa, and I'm interested in seeing whether James Wan can pull this off. I actually happen to go ahead.
James Wan said they're not going to do it because he saw everyone's tweets about how that was a big like what the F.
Yeah.
Not even what that was the kids. What the F?
Yeah. We said what the fuck. Though.
We said what the fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure we established that. We said what the fuck.
I've ranked my movies for 2018, and what I see is the ones I expect to be the worst to the best. Would you like to hear those?
Yes, I would, because you're going to
talk about those.
Okay, what is your worst?
So what I expect to be the worst movie out of those that we've named so far, I think Venom is going to be the worst of those movies. Okay, I feel that while I did say it's possible that they may just turn out a good film, we are talking about Sony.
Yes.
Sony couldn't do regular Spider-Man movies right. And now they're going to try and do a movie about a symbiote. And they're going to try and do that justice. But not just a symbiote. They're going to do a movie with a bunch of the symbiotes. Which I just think is a step too far. Already movie first one out, we're going to get all the symbiotes. Like, why do these... They never look far enough. It's why? Because they hand the reins to a director and a producer, and they want to make a splash.
Do whatever's going to make a splash.
They want to make a splash to keep their gig so they can get another one. They'll worry about the other one when it comes.
Yeah.
Which is a Ponzi scheme, by the way. Ahead of that, I've got Aquaman. Okay. I agree with what you have concerns about. Which guy are we going to get? You don't really know. You really don't know who this guy is. Yeah. Like he seems like he's going to do the right thing, but only when he's like super pushed to it. Which is Aquaman's a little more of a noble guy. So do we learn that he becomes noble in this?
Because either one does not.
Are we going to explain how he's able to move through water without ever kicking his legs? Because in Justice League, he just kind of jumped in the water.
And just was like,
I'm out this motherfucker.
It was like he was flying.
There was no version of.
It was like he was flying underwater.
That's not water power. That's not fish power, okay? That's not a fish power thing.
Shouts out to all the angry tilapia.
Ahead of that, I've got X-Men Dark Phoenix. Okay. I agree that it's going to be a struggle for them to try and make a good movie. I think there's a lot of built-in
I know what your next movie is.
Deadpool 2 is ahead of that. I honestly personally didn't think Deadpool the first movie was that great. So I think it'll be and again, I think we're going to run into a similar problem that we ran into this year where it's like Venom could probably be pretty bad. Aquaman will probably be mediocre to bad. X-Men Dark Phoenix, we could probably still end up arguing over. I have a feeling that you're going to end up liking that movie. If they do tremendously well, but I think you're going to be like,
I will say this. If they do that fucking Quicksilver run again, I'm done. I'm done. There's no reason. Don't do that shit every movie.
But I think from Deadpool 2, which I think is going to be better than X-Men, I think from Deadpool 2 up, we're going to get, these are going to be the quality movies. This is going to be just how I see them. Ant-Man and Wasp, I had Deadpool 2. Yeah. I like it. I again have this fear though when you get into sequels that you start trying to push things in that you don't need in there.
You forcing things.
Yeah. Now, what I do like about Ant-Man is that they're using it as the way to delve into this whole new concept of this quantum realm thing. So I hope they fulfill that without getting too stuck in making, trying to be too funny, or trying to shoehorn too many storylines in. Skip all that shit. Ahead of Ant-Man and the Wasp, I've got the New Mutants. And I've got the New Mutants there. I've got the New Mutants there only because it doesn't have any cachet behind it. It's still a Fox film, so they still could potentially fuck that up. Okay. It is a new step for them to do a horror movie with superheroes. It's a whole new thing.
With the R rating.
And really the only two characters the only two actors that you know of really in that movie are Maisie Williams and the girl playing Magic.
Yep. Can't remember her name, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I forget what her name is. Actually, I just have it pulled up right in front of me. Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy. Yeah.
So she and of course Alice Braga, who's great in everything she's in, but she's playing. She's just playing. Alice Braga's playing Cecilia Reyes in this, which is not. The kids are going to be the main star of the show there. So I think it again probably a really awesome horror movie, but with the other two movies to talk about, I I don't think it can get up there. Avengers: Infinity War. I think
Of course,
it's
it better be number 2. Let me tell you something.
I gotta maintain the barbecue plate.
Let me tell you something. You know, I talk shit about Bobby being half black all the time, and I love him like a brother. He knows that. But if this nigga would have said,
well, here's the reason for it. Avengers: Infinity War is going to be a groundbreaking movie. Mm-hmm. I just think. I mean,
what makes it groundbreaking? Is it because of the amount of heroes and characters we'll see?
It is a pulling together of 10 years of characters from across the entire universe they've built. TV, film, all in one major event that they've built to. And to be able to make that happen, I think from a movie making standpoint, just the sheer movie making that it takes to do that, to make that, to accomplish that thing is never before done, never before seen. If it's a good movie, I mean, how does that not change the tide of how we think about superhero movies? At that point, we can do that. If you can effectively do that. We've talked about shows that fit 8 characters in there that didn't do a good job. So, like, you know, if this movie can fit 75 and I'm happy with it when it's over, that's insanity to me.
Yes.
So,
I think it's insanity to everybody. I was talking to a comedian friend of mine, and I think you might know him, BT Kingsley. And we were talking, and I was like, dude, he was like, how many people are going to be in this? I was like, they say between 68 and 74.
Yeah.
And he was like, what? I was like, yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And to make every character feel like they belong there.
It's a lot.
You know, not to have, I guess some people will be just like an extra per se, but not.
There may be bits and pieces that are small, whatever, but.
We're looking at a 3-hour movie, no matter what.
Yeah. And, the movie I'm most hyped to see that I think is probably going to be I think it's the most important movie for superhero movies of the year. This is the most important movie is Black Panther.
I agree.
And it's important on a social level. I think it is important. I mean, we joked earlier about how we think we need to behave when we go to the theater, but it is important. I think the only way that you can really show people that we should all be able to get along here is if you can have an event that's for you that you treat properly.
Yes.
That you treat in a way in which it's not a time to go out and be like, fuck everybody who ain't black.
Right.
It's a time to be like, look at how cool we are.
Right.
Look at how when we pull together what we can make happen, and don't use it as an opportunity to shine anybody else. And it has the opportunity. If this is the movie that it's supposed to be, and that's a lot of weight to put on actors and directors and Marvel. I mean, the weight on Marvel to get it right with their first one.
But see, I think the problem becomes with that, and I'll let you finish.
Yeah.
Is that weight doesn't fall on Marvel. That weight falls on Ryan Coogler's shoulders.
It does, but it's still Marvel's project because Marvel will still take the blame over if they wait this long. No matter what, Marvel's going to take the blame because they waited this long to put it out. So if it doesn't go well, that you should have done this a long time ago. If it does go well, they'll be like, why didn't you do this a long time ago? So no matter what, Marvel's going to take some shit for it. But it is vital that Marvel puts out a movie like this and it does well to show that Marvel knows how to at least bring on board the right people to put something out
that makes sense.
that goes well, right?
Yeah.
You're a lot more willing to trust Marvel. They were a lot more willing to bring back people that go to see that movie specifically for other projects because they go, shit, y'all earned my trust on Black Panther. I'll go watch Captain Marvel.
Yep.
And now you can put a whole new idea out for some people that weren't even fans before. And so socially and movie-wise, to me, that is the most important, biggest movie that'll come out. And plus, you can't buy him in Avengers Infinity War being a leader unless they show him as one in this.
And that's one of the things I was just about to bring up. This movie is the prelude to Infinity War.
Correct.
This movie, it's historical for several reasons. We've had black heroes in comic books, correct? Mm-hmm. Luke Cage, we talk about him all the time. It is not a disrespect to Luke Cage, but Luke Cage was just a Netflix series.
Yep.
You took a character and made him a major blockbuster film. Also, the character of T'Challa is not a dude who had an accident. He's not an unfortunate orphan. He is a king.
Right, and has been trained for this.
He's been trained for this. Right.
He's supposed to be this dope. There's no questioning over whether he's supposed to be doing it or not.
He is meant to be dope no matter what.
Right.
This is in his DNA.
Right.
The character of T'Challa is also, not only is he a ruler, not only is he a warrior, he is a philanthropist to his people. His first concern is to the citizens of Wakanda. And we had it again. This boy who became a king, who was trained to be a king and a warrior, he never had to leave his home to amass what he was going to become. This movie is significant because growing up as kids, we weren't taught that.
The idea of being able to see a king who held himself regally
and everything,
and did what, and was
there was no coup that gave him his
worthy
ability.
of faith and trust, and
we didn't have that.
Right, who did what they were supposed to do. And not in the sheltered, fascist version of that, but
absolutely
held up good standards as being a good person.
Yes.
Think of the people that you think of as good in your world. Hold up those types of standards. So things that make you find goodness in those people.
And that for me is one of the biggest things. That's why I tell people, and this movie is also significant because our kids, all the adults who now have children, the children will see the character and think, "Oh man, that's so cool. That's the dude from Civil War." But this becomes a part of the history lesson where we have to tell, you understand how long we had to fight for this movie.
Right.
We had to fight for this movie because there's nothing wrong with Captain America. We had that.
Yep.
We had an Iron Man.
Yep.
We've had a Thor.
Yep.
We had an Incredible Hulk. But as a black kid, we've never had us.
No.
And now we do.
Now there is one.
Now there is one.
Yeah.
And again, like Bobby just said, it's not being exclusionary by any means. By any means.
No, it's just finally being inclusionary.
Finally being inclusionary. And so I'm with you 150%, my brother.
So 2018 looks good. We're happy that we're into the new year. I'm ready to get this thing going.
So that's predictions real quick.
Yep.
For that. Before we go, one big prediction for you, for us.
I think my big prediction for us is to see us on a much grander scale before this year is over. So in a newer or different medium than you've seen us in so far, or in that medium but in a much broader sense. So that's where I expect to see us before this year is over.
I'm 100% with you. That was pretty much the same thing I'm looking forward to, man. Hey, we want to thank you guys for listening to our prediction show for 2018, man, here for the Trusty Sidekick Podcast and the Laugh Ready Podcast Network. Make sure you find us at Trusty Sidekick Pod on Instagram, Sidekick Trusty Twitter, Trusty Sidekick Pod at gmail.com, the TrustySidekick.com is the website. You can find me personally at Mr. J Washington, MrJaywashington. That's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you hit me up and I'll connect with you guys. Bobby, how can the people reach you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at mocha_Jesus. You can go to itsbobbyhill.com for all of my dates and shows.
We will holler at y'all next time, next week. Take care. We're out of here. Peace.
That's what's up.
I am tired.
Yeah, I gotta get
Laugh Factory Network.